طيب بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Any questions before we proceed? Any questions before we proceed? No question. طيب. Okay, so what we did day before yesterday was we looked at, first of all, we finished the mathematical induction, صح? And then we started looking at the strong induction. And we saw the main difference between strong induction and mathematical induction. We saw that in mathematical induction, we only assume that the result holds for k equal n, and then we prove it for k equal n plus 1. In strong induction, we actually assume that the result holds for all k, starting from the base case or from the basis, all the way up to n, and then we basically show the result for n plus 1. And we noticed that when we tried to prove that that any integer can be written, or any integer greater than 1 can be written as a product of primes, we noticed that when we tried using the mathematical induction, it did not work. صح? We basically went nowhere. There was no clear relationship between n and n plus 1. However, the proof became very simple when we employed strong induction, right? So what we will do today is we will take another example of how do we use strong induction, right? And this example is very nice because in this example, we will also see that we can actually use mathematical induction also to prove it. So we're going to give now two proofs, okay? So in fact, this lecture is going to be kind of, review of mathematical induction, and then looking at another example of strong induction. And then I will ask you, after I show you both proofs, I will get your opinion, which one is easier or which one is simpler in your opinion, mathematical induction or strong induction in this case. Okay, so let's go over it. So the question is, prove that every amount of postage of 12 cents or more can be formed using just 4 cent and 5 cent stamps. Before we continue, how many of you have used stamps in their life? ايش يعني stamps? That's good. So I'm too old. Okay. So basically, before internet, people, they used to communicate, using letters that they put in envelopes, and they would use the stamps on the envelope, to pay for the price of shipping. Okay, to pay for the price of shipping. Okay. Right. So, but now, of course, as you see, none of you have used them. But anyways, so the question here says that if you need to have any value of 12 cents or more, it's just enough to have stamps of two denominations, 4 and 5. Okay, and you can form anything. طيب. Let's try to prove this using both mathematical induction and strong induction. So let's start with mathematical induction. So let me say here, two proofs are given using mathematical induction and strong induction. Okay, so let's start with Part A, mathematical induction. طيب. So what is the basis in this case? 12, صح? P12. So how can I form 12-cent stamps from 4 and 5? 3 4s and 0 5s, صح? 3 4 plus 0 times 5 is equal to 12. So the basis is correct. Okay? Or the basis holds. طيب, let's go to the inductive step. So assume that the result holds for k equal n. طيب, what does that mean? Well, this means that there exists I and j natural numbers, صح? There exist I and j natural numbers such that 4i plus 5j is equal to n. So this is given. As long as what? Exactly, n is greater than or equal to 12. طيب. To show that the result holds for n plus 1, i.e., there exists, so that I don't use two other variables, and just to show that the variables might be related or are related to the current variables I and j, I'm going to use there exists I prime, j prime natural numbers such that 4i prime plus 5j prime is equal to n plus 1. Okay, so that 4i prime plus 5j prime is equal to n plus 1. يلا يا شباب. Any ideas how can we show this? Go ahead.
When you add the value of n by 1, that means 1 4 became a 5.
1 4 became what does that mean? 1 4 became a 5. So what are you suggesting? What should we do?
Shouldn't we prove only for values between a multiple of 4?
No.
Because if you can prove it's between a multiple of 4, then anything above that is okay. So you can prove it from 12 and the next multiple of 4, which is 16. Then you can just do the same across all of them.
But I don't want only 12 or 16, and I want 13 or 14.
Any multiple of 4. If you can prove it for the numbers between two multiples of 4.
طيب. What's the relationship between the multiples of 4 and non-multiples of 4? And I want to prove it for anything. I want to prove it for all. For everything greater than or equal to 12.
Because, I mean, after the multiple of 4, it's going to repeat again. It's going to be the same. You're just going to add one more 4.
Well, what you're saying is kind of the induction, huh?
Yeah.
But it's not formal, and I need it formally. Yes.
I don't know what the circle is. So how do we substitute n by 4i plus 5j?
Say that again. I didn't get.
We substitute n.
You substitute n by 4i plus 5j. We are assuming that n is equal to 4i plus 5j. Now I want to form the value n plus 1. How can I do that? Yes. Are we using induction? If you want to try random number حكيت؟ من وين جبنا random? No. We want to use induction. We would like to use the induction hypothesis. Yes.
n plus 1, substitute n plus 1 by n minus 1. Make it n.
So you're changing the concept of induction. You cannot do that. Induction says, I start with n, I want to get to n plus 1. How can I get to n plus 1?
You can subtract the 4 and add a 4.
أيوة. Okay. So, and I have stamps of 4 and 5. It seems you don't know what a stamp is until now. But anyways, maybe after you see the solution, you will realize that. So what he's suggesting is, let me remove a stamp of value 4 and replace it with a stamp of value 5, which is basically what he said, but he didn't say it in exactly the same way. Huh? This is what what's your name? Mahmoud. This is what Mahmoud said. Okay. So you remove a 4 and you put a 5. خلاص, you added 1. صح? But there is one catch. Or there is one problem. You are assuming that there is a 4, صح? What if there was not? So now we have to have 2 cases. Okay? So now we have to have 2 cases. So case 1 is if I is actually greater than or equal to 1, right? So case 1, if the number of 4-cent stamps is at least 1, replace 1 4-cent stamp with 1 5-cent stamp. So in this case, what is the value of I prime and what is the value of J prime? I prime is I minus 1. Well, J prime is J plus 1. Let's check. So what is the value of IE? أو therefore, خلينا نقول, this is just to make sure, but if you reach here, you're finished. So therefore, 4I prime plus 5J prime, what is this equal to? 4, I prime إيش هي? I minus 1 plus 5, J prime is J plus 1, صح? طيب, let's see, what is this equal to? 4I plus 5J, صح? طيب, minus 4 plus 5 is what? Plus 1. وإيش هو ال 4I plus 5J؟ مش هذا هو الinduction hypothesis تبعي? Which is equal to n plus 1. So that's the first case. طيب. Now in case 2, assume that if I was actually equal to 0, I don't have any 4-cent stamps. What can I do to reach n plus 1 from n? So I only have 5-cent stamps, yes. Say that again. I don't get it. I'm not getting it.
Whenever J reaches 4, deduct 4 and deduct 4J and add 5I.
هلا J is the number of 5 stamps, I is the number of 4 stamps.
Yeah.
Now in this case, I is 0. So 5J is equal to n.
Yeah.
طيب, how can I get n plus 1? I is the same as J plus 1. لا. لا, remember, احنا we are not just playing with numbers. احنا we have stamps. I have J stamps. Okay? I need to do something. In order to make those 5J, which is equal to n, in order to make them n plus 1. How? I have those 5 stamps, and then I have 4 stamps and 5 stamps to buy. Okay? How can I do that? Yes?
Take away 3 5 stamps and add 4.
أيوة. If you remove 3 5 stamps, 3 of 5 stamps. Addition 3 of 5 stamps, 15. And then add 4 stamps. You will reach n plus 1, صح? Again, there is one small problem. Are we sure that we have 3 5 stamps? Yes, why? Because n is greater than or equal to 12. If n is greater than or equal to 12, definitely you need more than 2 stamps, صح? 2 5-cent stamps. If n is greater than or equal to 12, definitely you have to have at least 3 5-cent stamps, at least, right? So therefore, if I is equal to 0, since n is greater than or equal to 12, there exists at least 3 5-cent stamps. Replace them with 4 4-cent stamps, i.e. I becomes equal to 4 صح؟ لأنها 0 كانت. I becomes equal to 4 اللي هي I prime يا ربي is equal to 4 because I was equal to 0, so 0 plus 4 is 4, and J prime is equal to J minus 3. Okay, therefore, what do we get in this case? 4I prime plus 5J prime is equal to 4I prime, which is equal to 4, plus 5 times J prime, which is J minus 3. And I know that, so 4 times 4 is 16, minus 15 is 1. So I have 5J plus 1, which is in fact n plus 1, because I is 0. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 5 times J is equal to n. So this is n plus 1. واضح يا شباب? And this is the end of the proof using mathematical induction. Now let's move to strong induction, and then I will ask you which one do you think is easier or simpler. Okay, so part B, I have the proof using strong induction. Right. Now, starting first with the basis, let's for now do اللي هي البيس that we did in mathematical induction اللي هي P12 صح؟ P12 is basically 3 times is basically 3 times 4 plus 0 times 5, which is equal to 12. So this is correct. And I'm gonna leave some space. Okay, I'm gonna leave some space, and let's go to the inductive step. Let us go to the inductive step. So what is the nasheed for a strong induction? Assume that the result holds for all k where k is greater than or equal to 12, less than or equal to n, i.e. There exists I or j in n such that 4i plus 5j is equal to k for all these values of k from 12 to n. Okay, right. What do I want to show? To show that there exists I prime, j prime, natural numbers such that 4i prime plus 5j prime is equal to n plus 1. Or to show that the result holds for k equal n plus 1. Okay, I didn't write it here, but you already know it. طيب, can anybody suggest a simple, easy proof using the induction hypothesis that I can form n plus 1 using stamps of 4 and 5? Remember, I'm saying simple and easy. Yes.
Can you say I equal 3, j equal 0? Or we did it already?
I equal 3 وj equal 0. What do you mean I equal 3 وj equal 0? You're doing a 12?
I know the 12 and then 13.
No. احنا this is the basis. And an induction hypothesis is that it is true for all there is an I and j for all k greater than or equal to 12 less or equal to n. And I want to show it for n plus 1. I want to use my induction hypothesis. Again, the solution is simple and easy. Yes?
Could you do if the remainder of k divided by 5 is less
See, once you said divided, this is anything but simple and easy. If somebody is going to say multiplied by, this is not simple and easy. Hey, another hint. Yes. Add one to what? What is that? What is your hypothesis?
4i plus 5j
Equals what?
equals k plus 1.
لا انا بدي n plus 1. ايش الاندكشن hypothesis تبعك؟ Yes.
4i plus 5j is between 12 and n.
This is the induction hypothesis in general.
Yes.
طيب.
Then we can add 1 to n plus 4i plus 5j.
4i plus 5j. So 4i plus 5j, you want equal n, and then you want to go to n plus 1. طب هذا رجعنا للماثيماتيكال induction.
Can you say that?
Can you say that 4i plus 5j equal n minus 4?
n minus 4 وبعدين
Then if we add then n plus 1 equal 4i plus 5j plus 5.
plus 5. This is an excellent solution. So he says the following, and I want n plus 1, صح? So this means that I can go back to n minus 4. Let me by the induction hypothesis, there is an I and j such that 4i plus 5j is equal to n minus 4, صح? طيب, وadd 1 5-cent stamp. What do you get? n minus 4 plus 5. ايش بيساوي؟ n plus 1. خلصنا. But there is one catch. Maybe 4 is already 0. لا, مش 4 is already 0, بس انت حواليها عم بتحوم. اقل من البيس كيس. Okay? So basically I need to make sure that n minus 4 is greater than or equal to what? To 12, because I want to use the induction hypothesis. Right? I want to use an induction hypothesis. So assuming that n minus 4 is greater than or equal to 12, assuming that n minus 4 is greater than or equal to 12, there exists I and j natural numbers such that 4i plus 5j is equal to n minus 4. Okay, is equal to n minus 4. طيب, adding one stamp, one 5-cent stamp will do the job. صح ولا لا? Adding one 5-cent stamp will reach the value n plus 1 between brackets, because 4i plus الآن ايش الj prime راح تكون؟ j plus 1, 5j plus 1. Now this is equal to what? This is equal to 4i plus 5j plus 5, صح؟ وايش قلنا ال 4i plus 5j؟ قلنا هذا n minus 4 plus 5. This is n plus 1. طيب. So now therefore, if n minus 4 is greater than or equal to 12, I need n to be greater than or equal to what? I need n to be greater than or equal to 16. So now k here, greater than or equal to 12 is not enough. I need k to be greater than or equal to what? I need k to be, well, before that, k greater than or equal to 16, so I need to prove it for 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 or 16, صح? So now I need to go back to the basis. So what is P13? P13 is 2 4s plus 1 5, صح? Well, this is equal to 13. P14 is 1 4 and 2 5s. This is equal to 14. What about 15? 0 times 4 plus 3 times 5. This is equal to 15. So this is also correct. And finally, P16, 4 4s plus 0 5s equal ايش? Equal 16. And now, since I have proved it for the 12 with 13, with 14, with 15, with 16, for any k greater than or equal to 16, I can go back 4 without any fear that, you know, I cannot use the induction hypothesis. صح? So now I need to make my k here greater than or equal to 16. واضح؟ Any question يا شباب? Any question? طيب, let me ask you the following question. He says when he said go n minus 4, صح? طيب, couldn't I just went n minus 3 و added a 4-cent stamp? صح? I could have gone n minus 3. Well, I just added 1 4-cent stamp. In that case, my base case, the k should be greater than or equal to what? I will n minus 3 greater than or equal to 12. So n greater than or equal to what? 15. I don't need to really prove 16. I really do not need the proof for P16. I can just stop at 15, use Pn minus 3, add 1 4-cent stamp. I'm done. واضح يا شباب? Is that clear? So now, in your opinion, which one is easier? Strong induction or mathematical induction? mathematical. خلاص بجيب لكم الماثيماتيكال في الكويز. شو رايكم؟ زي هذه هيك راح نجيب لكم اياها بالكويز in fact, like the activity that you will do now. Okay? Like the activity that you will do now. So in the activity, it says here, prove that a postage of n cents can be formed using just 4-cent stamps and 7-cent stamps using strong induction. I forgot to write here before I print it, I forgot to write for all n greater than or equal to 18. So all of you, please write it, okay? Don't forget, for all n greater than or equal to 18, okay? So let me give you the papers.
Thank you.
انتوا كيف هيك قدموا شوي so that طيب would you like two and two here? You can go two here. تيجي هنا عبد الهادي. ها؟
When is the deadline?
Right now. What do you mean you have studied? هي الحل موجود قدامك. طيب go to like this. Let me see. Okay, two, ورا, two هنا, two هنا, and ايوه انت وياه. خلاص join them. ايش؟ strong using strong for all n greater than or equal to 18 يا شباب. Don't forget to write, add on the question for all n greater than or equal to 18, okay? For all n greater than or equal to 18. n greater than or equal to 18 for all n greater than or equal to 18. I'll give you 10 minutes and then I will solve it, very quickly, verbally with you. And then hopefully before you leave the classroom, please upload it and add your colleagues' names to Gradescope. It's already there, okay? Please don't leave without uploading it to Gradescope.
عارف صنعك هذا وزود كذا من جوا ما قل زود 1000 وزود 4 من
بس احيانا 7 زود 5 اللي 4 1 طبعا اي بلس 7 هو ماينس 4 بعدين نضيف لا الاسهم معناته لا انا اقول تقدر تختار عشان اقدر بزود 4 Do we have to follow the 7 and 4 or we can نقدر نطرح اي عدد معين؟
ايش رايك؟ انت you need to reach n plus 1. How can you reach n plus 1؟
هذا الحال ليش وقفنا عند 3 لانه اقل رقم نقدر نوصل له 3 ناقص 4 يساوي 1 يساوي 1.
ايه
حلك انت صح الحل نستعمل السبعه
لكن المشكله اذا استخدمت السبعه لازم يكون عندك n minus 6 اكبر او يساوي ال 18 صح؟
لا انا بسوي هنا بضيف 7 لا بضيف 4 زائد 4 ناقص 7 انا اعتبرت بصير عندي بلس 1.
ليش هيك 4 زائد 4 ناقص 7؟
انا توقعت انه لازم ما حد شارك خلاص اول اول شيء ايش اكزيست عشان بعدين
بالضبط لكن إذا طرحت 3 لازم يكون ال n minus 3 أكبر أو يساوي 18 صح؟ فبهالحالة ال n لازم يكون أكبر أو يساوي 21. إذا طرحت 6 لازم ال n minus 6 أكبر أو يساوي 18. In this case n is greater than or equal to 24. So this means إنه البيس كيس الآن راح يزيد عندك كتير صح؟ فأنت ليش تزود عليك البيس كيس؟ خلصتوا؟ دقيقة إيه.
ثمانية زائد شوف هذه
هو قلبك وأبلود. عادي لأنه النيجيشن هو أقوى شيء.
14 كم؟
النيجيشن كان أقوى شيء.
16 زائد 7 12 يعني لا خل من 7
يلا يا شباب you have 2 minutes. يلا finalize it so that I can solve this quickly. Fix whatever you want to upload and before you leave. I want you to all upload before you leave. خلصتوها؟
شغل المهندسين زي سي او 301 بكره من زمان هم عندهم استفسار والله قديم اي سي اس ونفس اكثر
يختلف عن حاجه
البروجكت حقهم زين
شباب ترى اوكي. By the way, those who finished, they can, if they are sure يعني the solution is correct, you uploaded it للgrade scope, you can leave. طيب؟ عشان ما تقولوا بس إني عمري ما طلعتكم بس. Okay. Okay. So let's go over the proof. So first of all, you will do P18 صح? To make sure that it works for 18. Does it work for 18? إيش هي؟ 2 7s and 1 4 صح؟ طيب. Now we will go to the induction step. Now in the induction step, we will assume that it holds for all n, for all k greater than or equal to 18, less than or equal to, and we want to go to n plus 1. Now, if we want to use a strong induction, since we have a 4 cent stamp, then all what we need to do is just go to n minus 3, صح? n minus 3, and then add 1 4 cent stamp, n minus 3 plus 4 is basically n plus 1. Now, notice that n minus 3 should be greater than or equal to 18, صح? Because I want to use an induction hypothesis على n minus 3 نفسها. So, not only n minus 3, but it should also apply for n minus 2, n minus 1, صح? So that's why when we say n greater than or equal to 21, we need to go back to the basis and add 19, 20, and 21. We need to prove those three along with this one, and of course the rest is very simple. واضح يا شباب؟ Could you have done it using 7?
Yes.
But by going back 6 and then adding 7? Yes. The only problem is now n minus 6 should be greater than or equal to 18, which means n should be greater than or equal to 24. So you need to prove it for 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. One of the groups, they did it this way. They said, we are going to go back by 7 and then add 2 4s. Okay, they went back by 7 and added 2 4s. This is absolutely correct. The only problem is, now instead of, you have to have an n minus 7 greater than or equal to 18, which means that n should be greater than or equal to 25, which means that you need to prove it for 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. واضح يا شباب؟ Write it, make sure it's correct, upload it to Gradescope, don't leave before uploading it to Gradescope. Oh, by the way, regarding Saturday, inshallah, I will send an announcement. By the way, regarding Saturday, I will send an announcement. I don't want to put this in the recording.